everyone, and welcome to Gierok Farms. It is a windy, cold fall day. I'm filming this here in the beginning of November. We are wrapping up here with fall. We got a couple small things to do out in the field, at least I do. I just did some sampling today on some new ground, so stay tuned for that. Future videos, I'll be sharing that with you here before next cropping season. I'm very excited. A lot of planning in the background right now. But as for today's agenda, we got some odds and ends to do here around the farm. One being, I got to get the RanchWorx Aerator cleaned up because they're coming to get it. Sadly, it's leaving the farm. I can't justify buying it. I wish I could. It'd be awesome to keep it around, but the demo is over. I'm happy that RanchWorx let it stay here as long as it did, but we got to get it cleaned up and disassembled today. Right now, Dad, he's taking care of his morning chores, finished up with milking and getting the barn all cleaned up and ready, but now he's cleaning up some of the calf huts here, and he's gonna haul a load of manure. But while he's messing with that, I'm gonna get the 7120 fired up, and we're gonna get that RanchWorx pulled out here and try to scrape some of the mud off of it. Might have to get the pressure washer after it. Hopefully now that it's dried off, that mud just rolls right off of there, but we'll see. We'll see how lucky we get. Man, that dirt melted right off of there. I was thinking we'd have to go out to the field and mess around scraping and try to, run that thing a bit. And there still is some on there. I'm gonna have to do a little of that, but man, now I'm gonna have to just get a shovel and kind of clean this mess up. So since there ain't a whole lot left on there, I'll just go here down our road along our shed where it's real compacted. And it's a lot drier now than when I used this last. Down the road here, I didn't quite have enough speed there in the yard to shed some dirt off of this aerator, so I brought the scraper with, and we're gonna go run across the top of the hill here. It's very firm soil, and we kind of use it as a road, but it's also a hay field as well, so it can use a little disturbance, a little bit of compaction breakup. It should be driest up there with the soil type and being on top of the hill shedding water. So we're gonna try to run downhill with that, see if we get this thing cleaned up, and if not, then we'll be out in the field and we can scrape the rest of this dirt off. Knocked a little off, but we still got some scraping to do. All right, we got everything scraped off that we could. We're gonna use the pressure washer to do the finishing touches and get this thing sparkly clean. We don't want to give it back to them all dirty. we got the aerator all cleaned up. I'm gonna loosen a bunch of these big bolts. Actually, that extra hitch piece I could probably take off over here. I'll have to leave the landing gear on until we get over in the center of the yard. We have to use both the skid steers to get it on the trailer, so I want to set it up in the center of the yard so the trailer can come just like it did when we unloaded it. So I'm just gonna get everything loose, so then once we're there, a couple turns and we're pulling stuff apart. Same with like the cotter keys or cotter pins on all the big pins. Like I've said in the other videos, this is a really simple machine and not a lot of moving parts, so really easy to assemble and disassemble. You know, if you were running a large farm with a bunch of acres and you had to put it on a trailer or something to move it 100+ miles or whatever, this is a machine for that, that's for sure. All right, we got the aerator all ready for the truck. And what's Dad's final thoughts?
Wow, it's quite a tool. I mean, right now we spent a lot of money this year on other things, so you know, you can't buy it all at once. You said on the corn stalks it really did some serious damage.
At an angle, I was really impressed. This is definitely a versatile tool. It sucks that we didn't have the dry climate they wanted to see this thing in action on the pasture side of things, but we ain't gonna get years like that all the time.
No, and we did some up here. We did some different stuff with it, so a lot of it's just taking the time out to do what needs to be done when it needs to be done.
Yeah, timing is everything.
So it's definitely built. I mean, I was kind of thinking they were gonna, what are they taking it back home, or they?
I'm not sure. I haven't quizzed them too much on it, but I know here this next week they're gonna come pick it up. So
I think they should find another farm to nearby.
Yeah, try it out on, and maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
Anyways, so we got the aerator project done, and we wanted to take some time to talk a bit more about some of the other equipment on the farm. And fall harvest is done. We're done with picking, and I gotta say, I love all the feedback from you guys when it comes to our corn harvest setup and the question we had looking for a picker. And we still haven't went and looked at any, but we got some direction now here for some local corn pickers to go look at, and we thank you guys a lot for that.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's some guys that called me and stuff, and well, it worked good last time I used it. So
yeah, ran when parked.
Well, yeah. And it's, you know, but I mean, I'm at a point right now where the few issues we had with the one I got, I did get to the bottom of. That bearing is still in there, that questionable bearing, but we did pick everything with it. I maybe should switch that out, but still, we're gonna keep it strongly in mind. Something in more mint condition would be worth us doing something more. Otherwise, you just what ends up happening is you got 3 or 4 different pickers. Maybe you got 2 that you can keep working, but they all got little issues. So pretty soon you just, you got a lot more issues, but they're old. I mean,
So if you guys know of like a new corn picker, that's what we're looking for.
I would be willing to drive away for that. I mean, I like the way we're set up here. I like how economical it is. A lot of questions about why we don't leave this picker on the tractor. We got several tractors. I mean, it would fit this MTA, it would fit our M, it would fit the Oliver. I mean, I got the subframe for the Oliver and for this one. I do know where there's one real close by this on another, it's a smaller International, but again, same subframe. We've always took it off. My dad had it on a 656 gas. I know another neighbor close by that had a 656 gas. I think his has been sold years ago already, but they've always took them off. And the thing with the pickers is they're so dirty and so much dust gets up even into the dash and places underneath the platform and that you can never clean them up right. And to service these tractors, and I will not put a tractor under that picker that's not dependable. Like it's not, real legit. You don't want it, because it could be a nightmare trying to service it afterwards or running into problems in the field. It would be almost a shame for us to put a good dependable tractor under that picker and leave it under there.
Yeah.
So far as taking it off and putting it on, it's not nearly as difficult as you might think. But the first time is going to be, unless you've done it forever. But then even then, making all the adjustments, you got stuff that was bolted down for 20 years, like fenders and different things. And then same with the picker frame. You got to make all those adjustments to fit your tractor if it wasn't already on one like it. And after that, it ain't too bad.
Well, now since I started filming it and documenting all this, we've gotten really good at taking
just what to do.
On and off.
You know just what tools to take with, because we keep it in a shed that's like a half mile on the other side of our property. And that's kind of the thing too. And then you got this corn and you never get it all out. And the mice just have a field day, and I would be concerned they would chew up the wiring on this thing and everything.
Ruin a tractor in a hurry. And you guys can look back too, even like looking at the side of the tractor and the filters and stuff like that. You could still see the oil stains from not this year. You got it all cleaned up, but last year.
Well, but there's still some. But yeah, you really have to scrub.
From the chains, you can see how it was throwing oil and grime, and it can really.
And you never be able to clean that up underneath there. And the other thing is, even for the sake of the picker, once you take it off, you're able to get at all your chains and stuff. Like I had that bracket that broke back off, that tightener.
Yeah, that we
kind of finished. The chain was staying on, but I think if we kept running it that way, we'd just end up ruining our sprocket. So anyway, I took it off right here in the shop, right by the welder. It took me about an hour because I had to finagle something together. I didn't find one off of an original. I could have ground something off of a parts one. But anyway, it's back to 100% on that end of it again. But anyway, easy working on it. So again, yeah. So that's kind of the reason for that. And, you got a tractor you can use and do other things with.
Not like a self-propelled, it's not a combine or whatever, that's an engine right there. That's a very usable engine. Back to the question we had earlier. Thank you all for the response. I got a pile of questions from you guys. Near and far, wide range of pickers. If you guys are, still watching this, even if I didn't respond, I still clicked on every single message you guys sent. And it was kind of overwhelming, to be honest. But we really appreciate it. We got a direction on a couple good ones. But if any of you know of one that's like brand new, that's the one we want to see.
But one guy called me and he said, this was back in '91. He said he bought it. And he had a choice between buying two of them. One that was like new. The guy wanted $1,500 for it. Well, back in '91, I think, that's getting there, but still, a lot of guys were going away from pickers at that point already. And then he found one for about $1,500 that had a tractor in all that was in running condition, I guess is all I got out of that. Not necessarily banged up. And, it kind of makes you think, well, I thought, okay, if you're a little tight on money, you made a good decision. But it does get to a certain point, once you got to fix stuff a lot and stuff is wore out, it can get frustrating.
Yeah.
And you tell yourself, do I want to deal with this next year? And it's never going to get better. It's always going to get worn a little more, and you can run into a little more problems. But yeah, it's really neat. And I try to read them all too, but it takes time.
Yeah.
But most of them we're learning too, what. And other questions was, why don't we go to a pole type? My brother did get a pole type. He does run the mounted picker yet mainly, but when we get a wet fall, he's got some wet bottoms and he's got four-wheel drives like us. He's able to put that four-wheel drive on that pole type and still get his corn out of the field. Because with the picker, it does hug the ground a little more. And once you start dragging, you're done.
Yeah, you get hung up pretty easy.
And you can't really pull them forward. There ain't much to hook onto other than your front axle, so you end up pulling them out backward. And that's been quite a few years. We had some corn that I kind of left the wet spot until the very end, and then there was maybe an acre, and we were creeping our way in, and to the point where we didn't use the box, we just filled the hopper and then drive out and unload. And anything was better than leaving it there or picking it by hand. And I did end up getting stuck twice, and I had you guys, I think you guys were quite young yet, you were able to pull me out just so we could say we're done. But then again, a pull type in the hills, it'd be very difficult, especially if the ground conditions aren't perfect. We'd probably end up running a lot of corn down, a lot of crooked fields. Typically with this thing, you're able to plant your corn in such a way that you're able to pick it from the bottom up.
Yeah,
I always plan it.
Follow a contour at the same time.
And the wagon drags a little bit. I know you explained that in one of the past videos when we were picking, and it can get really interesting. But that way, because this thing the pickers are set up for 40-inch row. We plant at 38, so I think the industry said, hey, tuck it in 2 more inches. I know a guy that's tucked his planter into 36. He's got a wide row combine, so he's able to kind of cheat a little bit. But you start cheating too much, I mean, with the wider wheels, if your corn ain't planted just perfect, especially in the side hills, you can be running corn down. So now you have to make the choice. You got 2 rows you're grabbing, and then you got that one that the wheel is up against. And in the corner of my eye, I can see it starting to tip. So you just start bringing your picker over just a little bit. That's still hugging it in, but sometimes you got to let one get run over to take the other 2. And if you planted it right, you can avoid a lot of that.
Yeah.
But these things, I think, were quite the Cadillac when the pickers were all in full swing. And I think the only downside that I would say with it is the person up on there when you got really dusty conditions.
Yeah.
You know, you can wear the eye protection, ear protection, but the dust, it's hard. And this year wasn't too bad. The first day it was so windy, I think the dust just went,
yeah.
And I didn't feel like I was in the grime as much, but I've been doing this since 1980 and I'm still breathing fine. Yeah. I'm not gonna say that's the truthful way to do things, but like I said, I love it. If you had to start this way without any experience, it'd probably be very frustrating.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be the best idea. But being we're set up for it, it makes sense. But anyways, that's a bit of a equipment talk so far, and we'll go feed up here quick and get that out of the way. But things are happening today. We're getting stuff done. All right, we are finished up here with feeding up. It's been a really productive afternoon. Thank you all for coming along with. Make sure to leave plenty of comments down below about that corn picker and the aerator. We'd be interested to read those comments. Thank you all for the support. Thanks for watching. Remember, check out GierokFarms.com and continue watching the videos. We'll see you all next time.